So I think we need to talk about long-term solution to the issue of insecurity. It looks like every other day something of this nature happens, and Nigerians are becoming too nonchalant when it comes to the issue of insecurity. They talk about it briefly and they move on to something else. Maybe the government is looking for things to keep them busy and they give them something to talk about and they move on to something else. And everyone should be worried. Everyone should really be worried about this insecurity issue. It looks like he hasn't stopped. And the president went to Jos last week and he promised those people that he doesn't have anything he can do for them at this point, but at this time he can promise them that this will not happen again. In less than a week, we've had multiple attacks in multiple places across the country. So Nigerian army cannot be everywhere at the same time. Nigerian police cannot be everywhere at the same time. So we need to start talking about the option of arming the citizens so they can at least put up a fight and protect themselves, protect their communities, so that these killings can stop.
Yeah, I share your sentiment. The government needs to do more, definitely. Our security agencies needs to up and doing as well. It looks like a lot of this has to do with the fact that a lot of our security agents or agencies are compromised. We'll probably have a lot of Boko Haram, ISWAP, all these guys. We'll probably have a lot of them in our security agencies, in our military, in our police, in all the security agencies. We'll probably have a lot of them giving out information, having access to information and giving it out to their counterparts.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Y and E podcast. Thank you for joining us. And if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, like, share, and engage with us in the comment section. So we're chatting about the recent adoption slash kidnapping slash insecurity in the Kashi local government area of Kaduna State. I believe this happened on Sunday, Easter Sunday, where the armed Fulani terrorists showed up at an Equa church in the village and abducted a bunch of people. And it looks like the Nigerian army was close by and they were able to put up some resistance. So the Fulani terrorists fled and 31 civilians were rescued and they said they found about 5 bodies. I think this is a good thing that the Nigerian army was close by and they were able to, free those people, or they were able to put out a fight so that the Fulani terrorists, left those 31 people behind. I think this is a good development because we all know Nigerian army cannot be everywhere at the same time. So I think we need to talk about long-term solution to the issue of insecurity. It looks like every other day something of this nature happens, and Nigerians are becoming too nonchalant when it comes to the issue of insecurity. They talk about it briefly and they move on to something else. Maybe the government is looking for things to keep them busy and they give them something to talk about and they move on to something else. And everyone should be worried. Everyone should really be worried about this insecurity issue. It looks like he hasn't stopped. And the president went to Jos last week and he promised those people that he doesn't have anything he can do for them at this point, but at this time he can promise them that this will not happen again. In less than a week, we've had multiple attacks in multiple places across the country. So this is an unfortunate incident, and we need to start looking at a long-term solution. As we all know, Nigerian army cannot be everywhere at the same time. Nigerian police cannot be everywhere at the same time. So we need to start talking about the option of arming the citizens so they can at least put up a fight and protect themselves, protect their communities, so that these killings can stop. What do you think?
Yeah, I share your sentiment. The government needs to do more, definitely. Our security agencies needs to up and doing as well. It looks like a lot of this has to do with the fact that a lot of our security agents or agencies are compromised. We'll probably have a lot of Boko Haram, ISWAP, all these guys. We'll probably have a lot of them in our security agencies, in our military, in our police, in all the security agencies. We'll probably have a lot of them giving out information, having access to information and giving it out to their counterparts. So I think if it is not too much to ask, I think the federal government should be looking in that direction to see how they can purge the agencies of these bad guys. I definitely believe that there are a sizable number of them that is within our security outfits. Two, I don't think, like I've always said, I don't think there will ever be political will to solve this insecurity. For example, if Tinubu decide to address it, he may not be able to return for 2027. He might have to pay a political price. But is he willing to pay that price? How many politicians are willing to pay that price? I don't think there's even any. Then our security agencies, we need to motivate them. There need to be motivation for them to be, to be up and doing. I saw a video, this Honest Bunch podcast where they brought, maybe it was ex-Nigerian military officer, maybe they dropped him from the military or whatever, I don't know. But the way he was speaking, in fact, he actually said up until recently that his salary or their salary was 59,000. 59,000 plus another 20,000, that's about 79,000. Then you have to buy your uniform. Your uniform costs close to 60,000 and all of that stuff. So there's no motivation. If you really want these guys to put up the work, although another argument would be that for the fact that they knew what they were going into, they signed the contract and then they knew the condition of the employment. But then again, we can also make the case that, we need to take care of them. The least person in the military, the lowest rank, should be making nothing less than 200,000. In today's Nigeria, I'm not even sure what 200,000 naira can do for a family man. You pay your rent, you pay your, Nigeria that they pay house rent once a year. Where will you gather all those money to pay that rent? You probably have children. You probably have to, pay for private school because the government have, destroyed the public schools in Nigeria. I'm not sure what 200,000 can do for somebody in Nigeria, not to talk of, paying somebody, because he said they just increased their salary and they now make about 108,000. That 108,000 is no money. So we need to motivate the troops. We need to pay them better. We need to take care of their welfare so that when they are dying for the country, they will be, well, quote unquote, not very happy, but they will be, motivated to, to protect the citizens of Nigeria.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Back in the days, joining Nigerian military was a flex. Get qualified candidate, people that are motivated to do the work, and not necessarily about the money. But I do agree that their compensation package definitely needs to be reviewed. Putting their lives on the line should not be making below the minimum wage, or basically not making enough to take care of their families and take care of themselves as well. So all these things definitely needs to be reviewed. At the same time, I do agree that they understand what they're getting into, but some of those people, they're getting into it because they, number one, need a job. They don't want to be without a job, and when the opportunity for a military position comes up, they'll put in their names because they want to be able to feed themselves. And some truly love the country, right? Some uh, are from the family of military officers. And for those people that are in the line or the lineage of military officers, you really find them on the front lines, right? Because there are positions you can get that will involve you not going to the front lines. If you have a son that is in the military, or if you're a father that is in the military and you want to bring your child into the military, I'm sure there's a way you can bring him in and not have him go to the front lines to defend the country. Everything has politics in it, and it's just unfortunate. But one thing I do want to mention is, what do you think about the president supporters coming out and saying that all these attacks are happening now because there are some unscrupulous people looking to make the president look bad? What do you think about it? Before I give my own
I don't think they're entirely wrong. It's been the norm since Jonathan's time. They made good luck Jonathan look bad and weak, when the issue of this Boko Haram started. In fact, that is one of the reasons why, well, people believe that was, one major reason why Jonathan lost the election of 2015. So I'm not gonna say that these people that are saying this entirely wrong. But then again, the president is not performing. If he's performing, I don't think people will be using this over his head, holding it over his head or holding it over him or using it to blackmail him, or people saying that they are trying to make him look bad. He's simply not working. If he's working, people will not be able to use it against him. So he's not working, and we can all agree on that. I think a Nigerian politician should learn how to take criticism. I don't think criticism is a bad thing, especially when done right. It's an opportunity for you to, to assess yourself and see ways you can do better. It's not outrightly a bad thing. But Nigerian politicians, they find it very difficult to accept criticism. Once you criticize them, it means that you hate them, you don't like them, everything in between. So yeah, the people saying that this is being done to embarrass the president, they may not just be far from the truth. But then again, what do you have to do? What do they have to tell, the families of the people that are being killed, being kidnapped, being, well, according to Trump, obliterated? So is that the case? Is that what you would tell the families? I think the president should just do the needful, motivate the troops, put more troops on the ground, just do what he told the people that he would do.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The president has not really pulled his weight. He made a lot of promises about getting youths into the army, provide corn, provide cassava, and also talked about providing electricity, fixing insecurity. And here we are. And it looks like the president cannot really boast of any major achievement in the last 2 to 3 years. So the people that are actually defending the president, they know the truth. They're super rich and they can't feel the impact of the economy. I'm sure they have family members that will always go to them to say, "Hey, brother, hey, sister, I need this because I can't afford to feed my family." But I believe they truly know the truth. But because of what they're gaining from the system, they're not willing to confront the situation head on and find a permanent solution because the system is not broken to them. The system is actually benefiting them. They're benefiting from the system. And if nothing is broke to them, you can't really convince them to fix it. This is what we've been seeing over the years, and it's sad.
Let us know what you think about the kidnapping and then the killing in Kaduna State. It looks like these people have become bold. Nothing is facing them. They are not scared. It looks like they are becoming way too emboldened. So let us know what you think. We'll be happy to engage with you in the comment section.